Where those transformative innovations came from, I believe there are many more. All we need do is look. And if our national attention moves to the search for solutions, our natural energy will indeed flow to a positive place. Fellow Kenyans, allow me to end my address today by recording two Mashujaa lessons from our founding fathers to our young people. I am compelled to do this because one statement said, if it was not for the elders correcting the mistakes of the young, there would be no state. My intention today is not to correct, but to point our young people in a direction that will make them heroes in their times. The first lesson from our liberation heroes is that it's got to be me. It's got to be me, and it's got to be me. That is, if anything will happen, it all depends on me. If change will happen, do not expect your neighbors to be the one to cause it. You are the one to do it. Answer the summons of change and be the driver of that change. All you need do is show up at the arena. Theodore Roosevelt once said that the man who matters is not the man who stands by the wayside criticizing, saying how things could have been done better. The man who matters is the one in the arena, the man whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, the man who errs and comes short again and again, knowing that even if he fails, at least he fails trying. My call to our young people, therefore, is to get off the wayside of pessimism and get into the arena. If the young veterans of war had not heeded the summons of change, we would not be having this Mashujaa Day or the independence that we enjoy today. The second lesson to our young people from the liberation heroes is this: be prepared to pay the price. And I'm using the word price to mean what you pay in exchange for something. The price of our liberation was high, but there was no doubt that our founding fathers were prepared to pay for it. Some of them paid the price with their own lives, but what they got in exchange is far greater than they could ever have imagined. Borrowing from the young veterans of our liberation, my appeal to our young people is not to be afraid of paying the price. If you have a dream, pay the price and the dream will come to you. And if you have a challenge, pay the price and it will resolve itself. And in saying this, I am inspired by the words of Reverend Frederick Donaldson in a sermon he gave almost 100 years ago. In this sermon, he dreaded an emerging culture of not paying the price. A culture characterized by wealth without work, pleasure without conscience, knowledge without character, commerce without morality, science without humanity, worship without sacrifice, and politics without principle. If indeed our founding fathers were young people when they created Kenya, our young people can found a new Kenya in our lifetime. They have what it takes to create a new wave of heroism if they get into the arena, prepared to pay the price of dreaming. On my part as your president, I will continue to accord our youth every opportunity to serve in public service. Indeed, the last crop of chief administrative secretaries that I appointed, the vast majority of appointees were in their 20s and 30s. continuation of my promise to the youth that my government will empower them and give them a greater voice. Ladies and gentlemen, let me also take this opportunity to commend all the young people that are serving their nation, both at national and county level. Our national response to the coronavirus pandemic was fortified by their immense contributions. I also want to thank our valiant, critical, and essential service providers for keeping Kenya going through this difficult time. I also thank our healthcare workers for their heroism, dedication, and selflessness in the midst of the greatest threat to public health in a century. I thank, too, our law enforcement officers, our military, who are keeping Kenyans safe and orderly. Fellow Kenyans, what then is our lesson from our independence heroes this Mashujaa Day? What our heroes taught us is that it is very easy to lose a country. And as your fourth president, I need to remind you that you will have a fifth, a sixth, and even a 10th president, but you have only one Kenya. This is all we have, and it is imperative that we all must protect it at any cost. So, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot conclude this address without honoring our COVID-19 heroes. In particular, I want to give special mention to our departed health workers, such as Dr. Doreen Lugliki of Nairobi South Hospital, Clifford Mburia of Kitengela Medical Center, Moses Ringera of the University of Nairobi Health Services, Marian Awar of Rachuonyo Hospital, amongst others. Their memory will forever be engraved on our hearts. These brave souls paid the ultimate price, and like our founding fathers, they teach us that heroes are ordinary people who are made extraordinary by unusual circumstances. Similarly, and given the fear-ridden circumstances our COVID-19 heroes found themselves in, they teach us that heroism is not the absence of fear, it is the conquest of fear. On this day, we are called on to embrace the challenges of our times with courage and fortitude, and to seize the constitutional moment to redefine our future and our shared prosperity. And in so doing, we will live to the call of our founding fathers when they secured our independence. I thank you. Mungu awabariki, Mungu alinde, Mungu alinde taifa letu la Kenya. Asanteni sana.
Tusimameni sote kwa wimbo wa taifa tafadhali.
Asante, niombe tuketi kwa kifupi. Na kabla ya wimbo wa taifa, Mheshimiwa Rais, naomba kwa heshima uniruhusu nimwite mwenyekiti wa kitaifa wa kamati inayoshughulikia masuala ya National Integrated Identity Management System NIMS, Waziri Dr. Fred Matiang'i, atuongoze kwa kipindi kifupi. Waziri, karibu.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defense Forces, Your Excellency, the First Lady, Your Excellency, the Deputy President, and Mama Rachel Ruto, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellency, with your kind indulgence, may I invite the Honorable the Attorney General to join me as we perform this very simple and short ceremony. Your Excellency, about just over 2 years ago, under the National Security Project, you directed that we commence the National Integrated Identity Management System. The focus has been explained several times before in several occasions. It's intended to basically integrate public personal data so that every Kenyan gets a single identity, we call a single source of truth, or in Kiswahili, huduma number. Your Excellency, it's my pleasure now on behalf of my colleagues in the Interministerial Committee to report on this historic day that the process is now complete and we have actually developed the huduma number. Your Excellency, today, you and the First Lady will be the first recipients of the Sambo Huduma card, which we hope to be rolled out as soon as the National Assembly completes the process of the appointment of the Data Commissioner as directed by the High Court. Your Excellency, on my own behalf and on behalf of my colleagues in the committee, I would like to invite the Honorable the Attorney General to now hand over the Sambo Huduma card to you and to Her Excellency the First Lady. And thereafter, Your Excellency, I request you to hand out 10 Sambo Huduma cards for validation to 10 individuals, and therefore guide us on the rollout that will begin strictly in compliance with the directions of the High Court as soon as the National Assembly is done with the process of the appointment of the Data Commissioner. Your Excellency, the President.
There we have it, huduma number for His Excellency the President and Her Excellency the First Lady. Asante. There we have it. Tuombe sasa Mheshimiwa Rais uweze kupeana ya kwanza kwa Laban Uhuru Siro. Tumlete kwa haraka. Laban Evans Amenya Bosire. Alois Mosoti Yokero, Sylvester Achuka Mose, Boniface Moseti Oyaro, Evans Guaro Nchoga, Kevin Bwire Mubandi, Lawrence Nyanuga Omambia, Evans Michael Mose, na wa mwisho Henry Lerioka Nyabuto Oderi. Asante.
Asanteni, nilikuwa tu nataka niongeze tu mambo machache, tafadhali kama mnaweza mketi dakika moja. Mwajua tulianza kazi ya kuhakikisha kila Mkenya ataweza kupata huduma namba yake ambayo itarahisisha vile Mkenya ataweza kupata huduma za serikali kwa njia rahisi. Na vile nilisema wakati tulikuwa kule Manyani, vijana wetu wamekuwa wakifanya kazi kwa bidii na tayari sasa wamemaliza shughuli zao, na sisi kama serikali tuko tayari kuanza sasa kupatia Wakenya kadi zao za huduma, na ndio waweze kupata hizo huduma zao aidha online kwa njia rahisi na ile laini kubwa tulikuwa tunapanga kila wakati katika maofisi ya serikali iishe, badala ya masaa ya kupanga laini mtu akitafuta huduma awe anaendelea na biashara yake, anafanya mambo yake pahali alipo na anapata huduma yake kupitia hiyo kadi. Hiyo na kurahisisha huduma kwa wananchi ndio ilitusababisha tufanye hivyo. Kwa hivyo leo umeona nimewaonesha yangu na zingine vile tumesema ni sample. Sisi Bwana Spika, tunagojea sasa nyinyi mumalize kazi yenu. Jameni, mumalize kazi yenu na ndio Wakenya waweze kufurahia hali yao. Jameni, au ni namna gani? Wanakemunya. Na ningependa tafadhali wajumbe wote wasimame. Tuko na viongozi kwanza. Unajua kuna order. Kiongozi wa walio wengi kule bungeni, National Assembly, Bwana Kemunya. Kiongozi ya walio wengi katika Senate, Bwana Pogisho. Mdogo wa kiongozi ya walio wengi, Mheshimiwa Jimmy Angwenyi, mtoto wa kwenu. Mheshimiwa James Orengo, kiongozi wa minority. Mheshimiwa Junet, chief whip wa minority. Mheshimiwa Ongeri ndio ambaye I think ndio Public Accounts Chairman, yeye ndio anahakikisha ya kwamba hatuibi pesa. Na hawa wengine nafikiri msalimiane tu na asante kwa kuja kusherehekea pamoja na sisi. Ningependa pia kuchukua nafasi hii kurecognize viongozi wenzangu kutoka na viongozi wa vyama mbalimbali wenzangu ambao wako hapa. Tuko hapa na ndugu Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, na yeye ndio kiongozi wa chama cha Wiper. Tuko hapa na ndugu Musalia Mudavadi, yeye ndio kiongozi wa ANC. Tuko hapa na ndugu Moses Wetangula, kiongozi wa Ford Kenya. Na hii ndio tunataka jameni. Kenya ni yetu sisi wote. Tupendane, tushirikiane. Kushindana sio uadui. Matusi haijengi. Tutafutiane, tunaweza, we can differ in terms of policies, in terms of programs. That is fine. But we don't have to differ to the point where we insult one another, where we shed blood of our own brothers and sisters because of what we want. No, we are here to serve. We are here to work together. We are here to respect one another. And if we respect each other, you will also be respected. So I want to say I am truly grateful. Nimefurahi sana kuwaona hapa mkija kuungana pamoja nasi na Wakenya wote pahali popote walipo kusherehekea siku hii ya Mashujaa. Na mimi natarajia kuendelea kufanya kazi pamoja nanyi na viongozi wote kwa niaba ya wananchi milioni 45 wa Kenya wazalendo. Nasema Mungu awabariki, Mungu awalinde, na tuendelee na umoja na amani katika taifa letu la Kenya. Asanteni sana. Thank you.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Rais. Naomba sote kwa heshima tusimame kwa wimbo wa taifa. Kidogo tafadhali, kidogo.
Sorry. Nimefanya makosa na sasa hiyo mambo ya huduma yangu inaweza kuanguka kwa sababu nimesahau kutaja hapa tuko na kiongozi wa one of the arms of government which is the judiciary. Ndio yuko hapa, Chief Justice wetu, tuko pamoja naye hapa. Asante sana Chief Justice. Tuko hapa na Speaker wa the National Assembly, Bwana Justin Muturi.